The only thing for me that I enjoyed was Peter O'Toole. Anytime he appears on the screen, I look up from my phone.
It is very half-baked.
It was 1954. Television was live. My favorite year.
Welcome to Kyle and Dave vs. the Machine, video edition. Some people will say 1999. Some people will say 1959. Others might even say 2007. But for my money, my favorite year is 1982. Those are usually the common refrains of best years of film.
Okay. And you're going to choose 1982?
I'm going to choose 1982. That is the year that my favorite year came out, starring Peter O'Toole and Cousin Larry. Please put in the Perfect Strangers theme. Dave, what were your thoughts on my favorite year?
Yeah, I'd never heard of this movie before. I was pretty tepid. What saves this movie from being garbage for me is Peter O'Toole's powerful gravitas is like eye-catching. So anytime he appears on the screen, I look up from my phone.
It's like, oh, I need to see more of this.
Anytime he's off the screen, I find Cousin Larry obnoxious.
On the funny side, there is anybody who has ever played the accordion professionally.
And I find the idea of doing a 1982's retrospective of the back room of a 1950s variety show is unappealing to me. Kyle is enamored with that era of comedy, so he already gets a bump. I'm not. And it's not that I disrespect Woody Allen or Mel Brooks, but I don't care enough to understand the inside jokes. So the host, King Kaiser, is supposed to be Sid Caesar. I've never watched Sid Caesar. I don't give a shit. And he's so annoying because he's just running around yelling at people. I'm like, I don't actually find this funny. There are some really good jokes in there because the writing is on point. I'm pretty sure Mel Brooks has a heavy hand in a lot of the structure of the jokes, but they're all over the place for me. So the only thing for me that I enjoyed was Peter O'Toole.
Peter O'Toole is great in this. On paper, this should be one of my favorite movies of all time. For like what this movie is about.
Check boxes.
What it's doing. It's like,
give me the check boxes.
It's like, oh yes, all of the Kyle's favorite things. Old-timey Hollywood television, history of comedy. Yep. I'm a big Mel Brooks fan. I do like Sid Caesar.
That's why it's so easy to please. If it's a movie, it's the things that I love. 3 stars.
3 stars, everybody. I ended up not liking this very much because I think that it is very half-baked. There is not a very clear arc that happens with our character. It's set up that's like, these are the things I want to accomplish. Does he actually accomplish those? Not really.
No.
The romance is not all that.
Why is there a romance?
Interesting.
I know I'm a stickler and I always seem like a jerk about the romance thing, but
she is in one of my favorite scenes of her trying to tell a joke.
This guy walks into a psychiatrist's office wearing a duck.
Whoa, what? Wearing a duck?
That seems great.
It's going to sound like a huge dig, but Mark Linn-Baker, who is Cousin Larry on Perfect Strangers.
Oh, you remembered his name.
Would go on to be on Broadway, television, has had a great career after this. But there are some people who are movie stars, and there's some people who are not. I don't think he has the skills to be a lead of a movie. And I know that sounds very awful to say, but he just isn't. And so it really drags down anytime he's on screen. Yes. I think maybe part of it too is that this is an amalgam of both Mel Brooks and Woody Allen, 2 very different personalities. And so when you try and mash them together, it doesn't really work.
Gross.
Some of the jokes are really well done, but I think the director, Richard Benjamin, also doesn't film it in the best way. Yeah. I've liked other Richard Benjamin films. I like him as an actor, but for this material, I think he was the wrong person to choose because oftentimes the punchline or the actual visual gag is obscured or not seen or done off camera, and it's annoying after a while. It got me really upset actually through. It's like, that's actually a great joke that you don't see or really hear all that well.
It's too focused and obsessed with 1950s television. Is shot that way, so it's very restricting, and it also makes it very boring.
I would watch it once if you are interested in Peter O'Toole, but outside of that, I don't think there's...
Lawrence of Arabia.
Well, yeah. 2 very similar films, My Favorite Year and Lawrence of Arabia.
Well, we do talk a little bit about how he just couldn't win an Oscars.
He won the Lifetime Achievement, but he never actually won one in competition.
He didn't win one for Lawrence of Arabia.
He did not. He lost to Gregory Peck, To Kill a Mockingbird.
That's a good movie. Peter O'Toole is renowned, not just for being an alcoholic, etc., but as a phenomenal actor. I learned he was actually way sicker than I thought.
Yeah, like almost
battling stomach cancer in the 70s.
Let us know what you think down in the comments below. You can subscribe to us here. And what can
tell us
do?
We just don't have a sense of humor. And
True.
We should just
What can they do over on Patreon? Is there a thing?
Yeah, give us money.
You son of a bitch. You can, though. What are we watching next time?
God. The Year of Living Dangerously.
That's correct.
Good old Mel Gibson.
Not the most dangerous year, which is what I was saying for way too long.
We found a movie. Yeah, we found a movie called that.
Oh no, Mr. Swan, this is exactly the way it started last time.